You have to go out. You have to perform. You have to bring in that next piece of business. And sometimes that creates a lot of desperation, which ends up making you take on that deal that you might not have felt alignment with the person on the other end. You might have had that painful, like kind of pit in your stomach. Listen, I have been there. I've been there and I've said yes to deals that even though financially it made sense, even though the business was very profitable, even though it would be a great opportunity for my organization, it ended up just dragging all and pulling all the vitality down in myself. And guess what? At the end of the day, that little bit of gain that I got by signing that client on ended up not being worth it at the end of the day because of all the energy suck that it gave to me by not working with someone that I like and respect. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Going Beyond the Deal podcast. I am your host, J. Michael Fischer Jr. I'm a managing director at DBD Investment Bank, where I advise founder-led and family-owned businesses in either growing or exiting their businesses. The Going Beyond the Deal podcast is a show that's more than just about business transactions. It's about the people behind them. In addition to my guest conversations, I put out short solo episodes that offer a deeper, more personal look into the principles that have shaped my own journey as an investment banker, advisor, and high performance coach, giving my listeners practical tools to elevate their work and their well-being. Today, I want to talk to you about something that can completely change your business and your life: the no asshole rule. Yes, I said it, people. The no asshole rule. It's about choosing who you allow into your world and why that matters more than ever. So let me take you back in time 20 years ago, before I was a managing director, before I was a vice president, before I was an assistant vice president. I was what I like to call a baby banker, a fresh, young guy that had just come out of being a commercial credit analyst. I was told to go out there and find some business. And just to set the table, I've always worked with businesses, actual operating businesses. So in any type of lending, there's people that focus on real estate and there's people that focus on working with operating companies. I've always been someone who has worked with actual business owners and in, growing and scaling their companies, using different, financial tools, et cetera. So when I first started in my career, I had, not a lot of experience outside of knowing what was a good or bad business by reviewing their financials. I was told, Michael, you have a $3.5 million goal, which is a completely tiny goal compared to what I had later on in my career. But that $3.5 million was quite scary. So I said, how do I hit my goal? Like, how do I bring in this type of business? And the people above me said, go out and meet every accountant, every lawyer, every financial advisor, and every CFO that you can meet, every business owner. Meet as many of these types of people as you can. And through the networking and through those connections, somebody's going to eventually refer you some business. And that's how you can really start to kind of grow your book and hit your goals. Sounded simple enough. So literally, any phone call, any introduction, any lunch, any meeting, any networking event, I went to them all. I went to so many of them that I went through literally thousands of business cards, just putting it out there, pressing the flesh, shaking hands, making connections. And what did that lead to? Burnout. It led to exhaustion. It led to feeling just completely drained because I never put the filter on as to who I actually wanted to work with. Now, if I take 10 steps back and I start thinking about what's always been the thing that I wanted to do in my life, is I wanted to lead with service and I wanted to lead as a helpful resource. How could I do that when the person at the other end of the table was a complete asshole? Someone that I would never hang out with socially, someone that I would never want to spend any time with. And yes, I am talking to all of you professionals that are out there, because I know we all know what happens every year? I'm going to take a quick, make a quick aside real quick so we can like, let's just address this as it needs to be. We all enjoy our holiday break, our holiday vacation, and we're sitting there with our family at midnight, getting ready for the clock to strike, for the ball to drop. And guess what happens for most people, most professionals out there that need to develop business? You have this high, you toast with your wife or your partner, you give them the big kiss, and then my heart always sinks at the end of that, at that time. Because guess what? The clock starts back at zero. My numbers start back at zero. You have to go out. You have to perform. You have to bring in that next piece of business. And sometimes that creates a lot of desperation, which ends up making you take on that deal that you might not have felt alignment with the person on the other end. You might have had that painful, like kind of pit in your stomach. Listen, I have been there. I've been there and I've said yes to deals that even though financially it made sense, even though the business was very profitable, even though it would be a great opportunity for my organization, it ended up just dragging all and pulling all the vitality down in myself. And guess what? At the end of the day, that little bit of gain that I got by signing that client on ended up not being worth it at the end of the day because of all the energy suck that it gave to me by not working with someone that I like and respect. So that is why I have the no asshole rule. I will also tell you that I've been in certain situations professionally where I've taken on a job or taken on a career move where I've worked for somebody that is is just completely not aligned with who I am. When I first initially met them, I had that weird feeling in my stomach where there's just something off here. I don't feel like I can completely trust them. Listen, I'm telling you, trust your gut when it comes to people. Trust your gut. I'm not saying people don't give people a second chance or anything, but if your initial gut says this person's kind of an asshole, they probably are. And run far away because that energy suck is not going to be worth it at the end of the day. So, what does this really mean? It's not because Michael Fischer thinks that he's better than anybody else. It's not that I have an ego. It's nothing about that. It's not about being rude. It's about having standards. The biggest flex isn't how many clients you have or how many prospects you have on your list. It's about how aligned they are with who you are as a person. So I'm going to give you some practical tips here. When you engage with somebody, whether it be a potential business partner, a potential client, potential employer, etc., ask yourself this question. Would I invite them to dinner at my house? Would I be proud to introduce them to my wife, my daughter, or some of my closest friends? Would I actually want to send my clients to them as a potential referral for business? After you meet with somebody, do you feel energized or do you feel drained from being with them? These are some just practical filters that you can run through. And listen, this matters more than ever. The world is heading to a place where real human connection is more important than ever. In investment banking, I've seen both sides. I've seen deals fall apart because of misaligned people, but I've also seen things thrive when the energy and their values just match together. And when that happens, it's magical. I mean, it really is magical. And listen, I have to call out the people pleasers out there. I have been guilty of it myself. Saying no does not make you a bad person. It makes you a leader. It gives you agency. Walking away from misalignment isn't a loss. It's a win. So if you're building something meaningful, a business, a legacy, a life, protecting your circle isn't an option. It's essential. I would love for you to let me know what you think of this episode. Let me know, who are you letting into your calendar? Who are you letting into your headspace? Who are you calling to the table? Who are you inviting over? Who are you letting into your life? Because that is super important. I have a whole chapter of it coming out in my book, The 5 Dimensions of Vitality, Circle, one of the 5 dimensions of vitality. It's coming out in the next couple months. I'm looking forward to sharing that all with you. It's a completely free book that I'm just giving to the world. It's my gift to the world. And hopefully no assholes pick it up. And if they are an asshole, maybe it would change their mind a little bit into becoming a better human being. So please subscribe, share the episode, and connect with me on LinkedIn. If I can be a helpful resource to you, either personally or professionally, drop me a note. Thank you for going beyond the deal with me. I hope you have an amazing day, and let's continue to build something meaningful together.